Most students completely waste their break. They finish their exam and then they go to do nothing. They tell themselves that they need to rest, that they need to relax a little bit. But then like a week later, you see them just all they're doing is on their phone, feeling more lost and empty than before. I know this because this was me. I remember the day after my exam, it was like 11 p.m. I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling in the dark. And I had this thought, like, I should be happy right now. I just finished my exams. But why do I feel so empty? It's because back then I hadn't learned about this one principle, which is so important. You don't need to grind during your break, but you need direction in your break. You need a cause that you want to work towards. You need a goal to work towards, a skill to practice, something to keep yourself occupied. You need to set some direction for your own life. Not direction set by school, by your parents. You need to create your own personal projects. Not just for grades, but for you. So the number one reason why you feel so bad is because you have this lack of purpose. You have this lack of a goal, really, right? People always talk about purpose and they talk about the deeper meaning, like, oh, what's my purpose in life? Like, it doesn't have to be that complicated. All it has to be is just something that you want to work on, a goal and a direction that you set for yourself, that you want to do. Really, the best life comes from fulfilling your purpose, which is just like working towards a goal. The best life comes from that. In a weird way, after you finish your exams, you might feel like a little bit of a depression. You might feel a bit lost because before, what was your big goal? Was to do well in your exams. And you were working really hard on that. You were disciplining yourself. You were staying away from instant gratification. And you're working hard towards something that was important to you as well. And so you're studying these exams and that kept you on the right path, and it was actually, weirdly enough, it was quite enjoyable. We as a society think that, oh yeah, finally, once we escape, we can finally have true fun, right? But I think deep down, a lot of us know that this kind of fun, right, this fun is basically fake. You do it more and more. You keep playing video games. You keep scrolling more and more and more and more. And then you keep getting less and less of a hit of dopamine. You're stuck on this addictive loop. And then it feels less and less enjoyable as well. It's a really sad thing, actually, if you really think about it. And so setting some goals that you yourself want to work hard on is a good thing, especially if it's helpful for other areas and it's not like something stupid like, getting plat on League of Legends or something like that, right? I talk even more about goal setting and this kind of stuff in my program below. Have a look at that, top in the description below. So what kind of goals can you work on? Maybe it's like building a new skill, learning a new skill. For example, like it could be like instruments or learning this video program or learning this artistic program, doing some creative pursuits, or maybe it's like a time for building your dream body to really get into the gym. I remember back in, it was like 2022, I started this YouTube channel over the summer because I was kind of bored and I thought it'd be interesting. But also, back then I was also working super hard on trying to build muscle, trying to go to the gym consistently. And it was a super fun time of my life because of that, right? I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was a good time. I look back and I smile because of some of the hard work that I've done. So this could be the time for your side quests. This could be the time for your little season of, of creativity, of music, you want to learn video editing or making YouTube videos, or the season of gym, for example. This could be a different season of your life. Once you've chosen that, right? Once you reflected on it and you chose maybe one or two, really, well, we can start to build your life around it, right? Because we have all this momentum and discipline that we have carried over from our exam, with all this hard work and structure that we had. We can start to create some routines. And I know that sounds scary, like this is supposed to be a break. I want to be relaxing, but a routine, oh no, that's scary, right? But having a routine where you set yourself tasks, where you set yourself things to do, will help you work hard on those kind of pursuits, those creative pursuits. It will help you stay away from those degenerate habits, those stupid habits which are going to destroy your brain, like, scrolling on your phone all day. It'll help keep you from those. Instead of being restrictive, like if it's a routine that you create for yourself, it's not restrictive because it's you, right? It's you chose to do it for yourself. So you decided, right? So if you create a routine for yourself, it's like you're better able to manage your time so you can fit everything that you want to do inside of that day, right? So it actually gives you more freedom to do more things because you don't have to constantly worry about when am I going to do this, when am I going to do this. Creating a routine is really helpful. That's why I talk about routines and have some study routine templates, in my course and below, and I also talk about in other videos as well. But for this routine, when are you going to do your hobby task? When are you going to exercise? When are you going to meet your friends? When are you going to eat lunch, for example? If you start to build this routine, it's pretty nice. You just have a pretty consistent day and you know what to do, and you don't have to think too much about when am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Right? It's quite a nice, simple life that just flows smoothly, where you can just go from task to task without having to have so much friction, having to scroll on your phone for 20 minutes before you switch tasks, right? I start to create the routine of the dream life of what you would want to do in an ideal day and try and follow that as much as possible. Also, start to reset your environment for this. Curate the kind of environment which is conducive to doing this habit, right? For example, clean up all your study material. Put that away, we can worry about that later. We can worry about that next year or something like that. Clean up all your study material and start to curate your environment for this new habit, right? A great example is to make it more obvious, right? If you want to start practicing your instrument, for example, you want to practice guitar a lot and you don't want to spend your entire day on video games, maybe you could pack away your gaming PC or your PlayStation and put it in another room and then put your guitar out, and so it's really obvious for you to, you can just start to pick it up and play it, right? I remember when I tried to learn guitar and I was like so much because I was keeping my guitar in the closet, right? Where it's not obvious, where I can't even see it. Obviously, when I kept it out in my room where it's really obvious and I just put it in front of my desk, I'll just randomly pick it up and I just want to, go and play on it a little bit more. And I double the amount of time that I would practice my guitar, right? Another one was just putting my laptop in another room, right? And putting my phone in another room, right? So I would spend less time distracted on that. On top of that, resetting this environment, it kind of helps your brain psychologically move on so that, you're preparing your brain for this new season of your life, right? Helps you move on from those exams and it helps you more easily settle into this routine of doing this new habit, this new task, for example, right? And so this comes to the deeper point, which is once you do a bit of this kind of, work, which you've chosen for yourself, maybe it doesn't even have to be work, it's mostly hobbies. I think because work has a bad connotation, really. You start to realize that if you've chosen this kind of work and chosen this kind of direction, this is where a lot of the true fun happens, really. You choosing to work hard on something, you building the sense of achievement, of your own direction, of autonomy, right? It's actually a really great feeling. It's really happy, genuinely. I remember back then when I was trying to learn Chinese over the summer, right? I was trying to improve my Chinese because I'm Chinese, right? My Mandarin was pretty shit, right? I was trying to work hard and improve my Chinese. And that was great because it helped me keep away from these bad habits, right? Keep me away from feeling depressed at home, right? It helped give me something to do with all this time that I had, right? And it left me with a great valuable skill, which I can still use to this day, right? Because of the fact that I spent those summers just watching Chinese dramas and trying to read Chinese books, right? Because I spent that time trying to study Chinese, I look back at that and I'm thinking wow, I did really well. I worked really hard. That was a good time that I actually really improved my skills. And it's a great feeling. It's a genuinely great feeling when you can look back at yourself and you think oh yeah, I did really well back then. So I want you to have that feeling of that fulfillment of true happiness, not just dopamine buzzes from playing video games. True happiness, right? True fulfillment and looking at yourself and being able to be proud of yourself, right? I've done good work. That's what I want for you. I remember there's this one quote. I think it's from I think I heard it's from the Bible, but if it's not, then I'm wrong then. But there's this really important phrase that I remember hearing about. It's called "idle hands are the devil's plaything," where it can be interpreted as if you give yourself nothing to do, then you might just end up defaulting to degeneracy, right? In those kind of days where you literally give yourself nothing to do, literally no direction, no purpose, no nothing, you know, you're probably gonna end up scrolling the entire day. You might end up, you know, watching porn half the time. Right? You might end up, you know, jacking off 5 times a day just because you want to feel something, because you've got nothing, you haven't set anything to do. It's these times where you literally give yourself nothing to do, where you might default to where you just default to bad habits and stimulation. Being able to work hard on something that you enjoy, that you want to work on, truly is like really a great experience. So the action plan for this is like basically create a routine for this, right? So you should allow yourself a little bit of time to indulge. If you really want to, you can relax, like you can have some guilt-free time, right? You know, 2 or 3 days, something like that. You can binge out on video games if you really want to. Like, you'll do that, and then you might realize that it's probably not as fun as you imagine. After that, start to create this routine of things that you can work on. Side hustles, you know, side quests, a new season of your life, right? A season where you want to learn this particular skill, this kind of thing, something that interests you. Or even if it's just something to work on, right? It's like getting a job, right? Something as simple as that. Having something to do, keeping yourself occupied is a great thing to build some skills and learn some things like self-discipline, self-direction, which is so valuable as a student, right? It's so valuable that you can have some control over your life. Where, you know, in real life, nobody's going to tell you what to do. Nobody's going to tell you to keep it on the right track. It's all up to you. You as an adult, you create the choices for yourself. And so if you can make some good choices for yourself right now as a student, then I'm sure that's going to set you up for a great success. So go and find something to work on that you enjoy, that you are interested in. Work on it, learn it, design your life around it. And thank you for watching. Go and do that. See you later. Bye-bye. Also, if you're an engineering student and you want some extra help and thought this video was helpful, have a look at the top link in the description below. It can help you even more than this. So thank you for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.